Hello and welcome to Electric Bike Report. My name is Pete and this is the Raleigh Lore IE electric bike in for testing and review. This is a pretty interesting bike because it features the Bosch Performance Line Speed mid-drive motor, and this provides assist up to 28 miles per hour. You've also got just these really wide tires. These are 27.5 by 2.8 inch wide Schwalbe Super Moto-X tires. RockShox suspension fork in the front, Magura brakes, Shimano Drivetrain, just a lot of really interesting features, and it's all based off of a mountain bike platform. So anyways, this is a video overview, and I'll have a full review for you at electricbikereport.com. So with that, let's check out the details. Okay, now let's take a closer look at the frame. You can see that the frame itself has its roots in the mountain bike design. Has a nice sloping top tube here, some reinforcing pieces here at the top tube and seat tube connection points, and it's pretty interesting to look at the hydroform aluminum tubing. The hydroforming is able to shape the tubes and really provide a lot of strength where it's needed. You can see in the top tube here it goes from sort of a triangular shape down here and then connects to this reinforcement tube that is somewhat square, and the seat stays have a nice angular look to them, so kind of a lot of style, but it also has a lot of function as far as placing material where you need it. Here's a look at the chain stays to the motor mount connection right there, and then at the seat tube you can see how it gets larger right there at the motor mount connection, has sort of a triangular look to it, and then the battery is well integrated into the down tube of the frame here, kind of just blends in with the look. It's recessed a bit down onto the down tube there. Nice connection there at the motor mount as well. So a lot of nice detailing. There is connections for a rack here at the seat stays, both on the and then also near the rear wheel here. And the rear wheel has a through axle, so it provides nice lateral stability for the rear wheel. And the same is true for the front wheel here on the front. And this is the RockShox Judy suspension fork. Has 120 millimeters of travel, and has an air spring, so you can adjust the spring rate based on your weight as well as your riding preferences. And there's also the lockout option here. If you flip that switch, it will basically lock out the fork, so you can have a nice efficient ride when you're riding on smooth roads, and then you can open it up for riding on some of the rougher terrain. And as mentioned before, this has a through axle for nice side-to-side wheel stability. So here's a look at the Bosch Performance Line Speed mid-drive motor. This mid-drive will provide assist up to 28 miles per hour, and it basically blends in the motor power with your pedal power. This is a pedal assist only bike. There's no throttle, and it basically powers back to the rear wheel and leverages the drivetrain of the bike so that you can climb hills really well, and you can also cruise up to 28 miles per hour on the flatter terrain. So here's a look at the other side of the Bosch Performance Line Speed mid-drive motor. This is a 350 watt motor that has up to 575 watts of peak power and up to 63 newton meters of torque. And this has three different sensors. It uses a torque sensor, cadence sensor, and a wheel speed sensor. And basically it's really trying to blend in the motor power with your pedal power. So it's sensing what your riding style is like and blending in the assist, so that it really gives you that kind of tailwind feeling. And there's 4 different levels of pedal assist, which we'll cover in a little bit. So these are the Welgo aluminum pedals. They have a nice wide platform and a pretty solid grippy surface. So from the mid-drive motor here, the combination of your pedal power and the motor power is transmitted to the rear wheel and through the Shimano Deore 10-speed drivetrain. And on the cog set back here, it's 11 tooth to a 42 tooth, so a lot of range for climbing steep hills and also cruising up to 28 miles per hour. The Shimano Deore derailleur has a clutch built into it so that it keeps the chain tension pretty tight and minimizes any kind of chain slap on the frame. Okay, so powering the Lore IE is the Bosch Power Pack 500. This is a 500 watt-hour lithium pack that's a 36 volt, 13.4 amp hour. There's a lock there at the top of the pack, and down here is the battery level indicators. When you push that button, it'll show you how much charge the battery has. And there's also a battery level indicator on the display as well. Alright, to remove the battery pack, just unlock it with the supplied key, pull up on the top of the pack, and that's what the down tube looks like without the battery. And here's a look at the battery connection there. And to reinstall it, basically just the same in reverse, connect at the bottom, click it in at the top, take the key, and you're good to go. So here's a look at the battery removed from the bike, and you can see the charger is plugged in there just on the bottom of the battery pack. It takes about 2¼ hours to charge to 50% and 4½ hours to charge to 100%. So one of the nice features of the Lore IE is that they've spec'd out these Schwalbe Super Moto-X tires. These are 2.8-inch wide tires on the 27.5-inch wheels, and they just have such a large amount of air volume that when you run them at the lower tire pressures, and Schwalbe recommends between 20 and 45 psi, when you run them at the lower tire pressures, they have a bit of built-in suspension effect, and they also have quite a bit of tread patch on the ground. So it really creates a nice stable ride feel. And you can see from the tread itself, it's generally a pretty smooth and efficient tread, good for riding on the road, has some channels for dissipating water, but this can also handle some very light off-road, like gravel road type of riding. So Raleigh spec'd out these Magura 54 hydraulic disc brakes, and on the front here you can see this really large rotor. This is a 203mm rotor, and it also features a 4-piston caliper, so a lot of stopping power on the front end of the bike, and it's a nice thing for a speed pedelec like this. On the back is a 2-caliper piston and a 180mm rotor. Okay, let's take a look at the handlebar area. So first of all, here on the left side, we've got an ergonomic grip with a bit of wrist support there, the lock-on collar for solid attachment of the grip to the handlebar, Magura 54 hydraulic disc brake lever, and these can be adjusted to fit your hand size and riding style. The Bosch Performance display right here, and this provides information on your current speed, your estimated range here, and then your battery level. Now the estimated range is based off of the pedal assist levels. So right now I'm in Eco, which is the lowest pedal assist, and you go to Tour, and it's showing 26 miles, and then Sport is showing 20, and then Turbo, the highest pedal assist level, is showing 18. Now this is based on the terrain that you've been riding on most recently, and I've been riding on pretty tough terrain, a lot of hills and stuff, so it's showing a little more conservative range, but this will adjust as you are riding on different terrain, and it's also keeping watch of the battery level. So a lot of cool info built into this relatively small compact display and control pad unit here. So coming over here to the right side, you've got the Shimano 10-speed shifter right here, the Magura 54 hydraulic disc brake lever for the rear brake, and then the ergonomic grip on the right. Here's a look at the Raleigh saddle, and has definitely a narrow performance style look to it, and really matches the performance style of the Lore IE really well. Has a center relief section to help reduce some of the pressure points as well. Okay, so that's the overview of the Raleigh Lore IE. You can check out the full review at electricbikereports.com, and that includes a bunch of detailed pictures, specifications, ride characteristics, range test results, pros, cons, and overall thoughts, all at electricbikereports.com.